coffee chat with you today. I was looking in the mirror this morning. I do this thing where I audit myself in the mirror, not just like look at myself, make sure I'm not too fat. I like stare at myself in the mirror and have that like I don't know, internal audit, I guess you could say. And this morning I was looking at myself and I came to the conclusion I'm exactly who I'm supposed to be right now. I'm exactly who I am trying to be. That didn't sound right. I'm exactly who I'm supposed to be, and I'm the exact person that is going to get me to the next level of where I'm trying to be. Right. And that's right now, that's actually a good thing for me to hear from myself because I'm just going through some crazy shit, like crazy shit in life. Um, but it got me thinking about how that isn't necessarily common, right? And it got me thinking about a time in my life where I I'll just kind of set the floor here. So at one point in my life, I decided that you know what, I'm going to be successful. Like I have to be financially successful. I have a family now. I have responsibilities that I have to take care of, and it's unacceptable to me to not be accept or to be successful. And so I went to absolute work, and within my career, and just dominated. And I worked hundreds and hundreds and thousands of hours to do it, to make it, and I did it. I got to the point where I wanted to be, and we were living the life that we wanted to live, kind of. I mean, as far as like outside of work, obviously I was working, hundreds and hundreds of hours. So there's only so much you could do there. But um, financially, I got to a place where I was proud of. I was like, okay, I actually accomplished something here. And I remember one day waking up and looking in the mirror at myself and just having this like sudden realization of like that's not who I'm supposed to be, because I've been so focused on the work and on success and building that area of my life that my physical standards took the back seat. They took the back burner, and I just got fucking fat and out of shape, and I felt like shit and I looked like shit. And looking in the mirror, I realized like I'm not supposed to be this person. I'm somebody else. I'm supposed to look like a savage. Like my look is supposed to reflect my level of success right now. Why the fuck am I soft and fat and just look like some average dad, right? And the hard part about that realization, right? And this happens to a lot, and I talk to a lot of most of my clients are in this this position when they come to me, because most of my clients are high level guys or business owners or really successful people that kind of have this sudden realization of like, oh fuck, dude, what happened here? And what's really hard about being in that situation is that most of the time you realize it too late, because while you're so focused on grinding, you lose focus on the physical fitness, and you pretty much justify it in your head. I know that's what I did, of like, well, I'm just working right now. Like my focus is building financial success. So my physical fitness, like I don't need to worry about that right now. And that was a huge mistake for a few different reasons that I'll talk about. Um, but that what I was going to say was one of the hardest uh, things about being in that situation is that a lot of the time you realize it too fucking late, right? And you're fucking far gone, and you got a lot of road to travel, right, to get back to where you want to be. But the hardest part about it is the internal conflict that develops inside of you because of where you're at, right? Because you do know that you're a monster, and you do know that you're supposed to be somebody else, and you do know that that man in the mirror right there isn't the person that you're supposed to be, and it doesn't reflect your values, your standards, your work ethic, or your level of success. And that becomes a major problem with you. It should become a major problem with you. If it's not, then you need to reflect a little harder, right? Um, and so you get this like extreme misalignment feeling where it doesn't even feel real. Like the person staring back at you almost seems fake, because you know you're not supposed to be that person. You know that you're a savage. You know that you're willing to work your ass off. You know that you have all these traits. And you also know internally that that person in the mirror is supposed to reflect all those things. And it's unacceptable to not have that. right? To not have that physique. So it becomes really difficult, and it's an internal conflict. But when you do have this realization, it's extremely important to not bury that, to not just let it go and be like, you know what? But I'm successful, so it is what it is. Like, because I'll be honest with you, I don't know if you guys have ever seen this. I've seen this. Watching a fat guy hop out of a supercar with his gut hanging over his belt is just kind of ridiculous, right? So like, I'm sorry, but like our level of success doesn't cancel out our our lack of physique. Um, but it's extremely important to internalize that feeling and remember who the fuck you are in that instance, right? Because not only is it important to have both of those things, the physical fitness with the financial success, because don't get me wrong, the other way is also accurate. Like if you're extremely in shape but you're broke as fuck, like that's stupid to me too. Like you're missing an entire piece of the puzzle, an entire aspect of everything, right? But um I like just lost my train of thought. But oh yeah, so not only is it important to have both of those things, but one thing that I didn't realize until I was on the other side of it, till I was like, all right, let me get my shit together, and I went all in on my personal development, my fitness as well, was that you're leaving a fuckload of potential and revenue and growth on the table by not prioritizing your health and fitness. And I mean a ton. And it's this weird thing, right? Because especially as business owners, we build these machines, these businesses that require so much of us, that require an extreme amount of input and output and work and all of these things. And in doing so, in that process, we l- almost lose the person, lose ourself, lose the one that's doing all that, right? That's supposed to be doing that. So you create this machine that requires all of you, and then you lose a part of yourself. And in reality, what you need to do is be building both. And once you have this fucking machine that is just full bore, full steam ahead, you have to be able to continue the inputs. You have to be able to continue working your ass off if you want to continue growing, right? Obviously, we can systemize. Obviously, we can hire people and do all the other shit. But at the end of the day, like if this is us, like I don't know about you guys. I don't do this shit to fucking go sit on the beach for fucking all year. Like I do this shit for the work, right? Like the work is always going to be a part of me. And like you need to be able to continue pushing. You need to be able to continue growing, to continue just executing like a savage. And on top of that, you need to be able to go home at the end of that day and still be the man that your family needs. Right? Like how many of you are fucking going home and you're just dead and you have nothing left for your kids or your lady or whoever it is that you go home to because you spent it all throughout the day. And not only that, but you probably fell off around 2 or 3 in the afternoon because you fucking ran out of energy because now you're fucking fat. Right. So not only are you leaving potential on the table in your business, you're leaving potential on the table at home and you're missing the mark in a few different areas. Right. This is such an underrated part of entrepreneurship, your physical fitness. Um, and it's something that like is going to 10x your business if you aren't already doing this. And even if you are already doing this, even if you are already working out and eating clean or whatever it is that you're doing, if you dial into a new level, your business is going to go to new levels. Everything is going to go to new levels when you dial this one thing in. It's just how this shit works. Like it's actually fucking fascinating. It's just a fact of life, and I've proved that time and time again, not only with myself but with my clients. Like one of the coolest things to me, because obviously, like I can get anybody in shape. That's not a difficult thing for me. One of the coolest things for me is when I take these guys that are already high level, already performing at a high level, we dial them in, and then they start performing at extremely high levels and they start making way more money and doing way more. Like that is the coolest thing for me. And on top of that, on top of that, they become better dads, better husbands, better men in their community, better, just better overall, right? Because at the end of the day, there's multiple pieces of the puzzle that we need to put together in order to have complete success. I genuinely believe that. I think if we only have one or two pieces of that puzzle, we're not successful. We're really not. Um, and we're all guilty of missing on them. We're never ever going to be perfect, right? We're never going to be able to, especially living this lifestyle. Like you're never going to have balance. It's just not going to happen, right? So we have to be able, since we're not going to have that balance, though, we have to be able to exert a maximum amount of output in all the important areas of our life, right? And obviously, like, this really does start with our health and fitness and getting that completely dialed in and just becoming a monster. And it's not, you don't need a ton of time. You don't need hours and hours in the gym or some complicated ass meal plan. And I talk about this all the time. And honestly, I'll link a video below to show you exactly how to prioritize your health and fitness as an entrepreneur, as a busy person, as a high performer already. This is if you're a high performer already, right? Obviously, if you're not at that level, then you could just do a regular fitness plan and get in shape. But I'll link that video below. But the entire purpose of this, man, is like you're gonna, if one day when you wake up and you look in the mirror and you have that feeling of misalignment and you feel like something is off or you feel like something is missing, you need to believe it because it's true. It's true. And if you don't believe that, if you don't internalize it, you're going to leave a ton of potential on the table and you're never going to stop feeling that way. Because when you are a savage, when you are a high performer, when you're a builder, unless you are performing at the highest levels, unless you are being a savage or you are a savage, unless you are continuing to build, you're always going to feel like something is missing. And there's nothing wrong with you for that. That's just how we're fucking wired. And the more we lean into it, the more we accept it, the better off we're going to be because then we can actually utilize it to our own, to our, I don't know, progress, I guess. I can't even think of the word I'm looking for there, but we can utilize it, right? And that's how we got to these positions in the first place. That's how we've built the success in other areas. Now, all you got to do is take those same standards, those systems and structures, and apply them to the fitness, right? And make it a priority. And I promise you, everything is going to get so much better in your life. But when you have that realization that you're not who you're supposed to be right now, make sure you fucking do something about it. Make sure you do something about it because there's nothing worse than tearing down a fucking empire, ruining something completely because you let your fucking health go. Right? Can you imagine that? Like, imagine, and I had this conversation with a client recently. Like, you could build these empires, you could build these huge businesses. But what if you fucking die at 45, 50 years old because you're so fucking healthy? What was that for? Like prioritize yourself, prioritize your health, prioritize your fitness. Have that look when you walk in a room where people just, you command a level of respect that people don't get unless you have this look. Like prioritize it. It's important. It really fucking is, right? And I know that you know that if you're watching this video. I know that you fucking know that. So once you have that realization, do something the fuck about it. And if you need help doing that, watch the video that I linked below to get the full explanation of how to actually do that. But anyways, kind of more of a rant video today. I was just thinking about it heavy because I had that thought and that realization this morning, and just wanted to talk to you guys about it. I hope this actually helps and hits you in a soft spot that you needed to be hitting today. So, anyways, you guys have a good day. I'm gonna upload another video shortly within the next day or two, going over nutrition and all the other aspects. But I'll post that. Anyways, hope that you guys enjoy this video. Hope that it helps. If you aren't already, subscribe to my channel here. I'm going to be really hammering down on YouTube, and then go follow me on Instagram at Grayline Fitness. All right, guys.